Hello guys, welcome back. So today I have a couple thrift flips. I'm working through a pile of things I've recently bought for Christmas. So I'm going to start with this frame. I picked up the canvas at Dollar Tree, and the velvet is just a dress that had a hole in it and the zipper was broken. So I'm just going to repurpose it and use it for the backing on this frame. So I'm basically going to start out by cutting out my fabric to the shape and size of the canvas. Then I'm going to attach it to my canvas with some adhesive spray. I use this Krylon spray, which is what I mainly use. I feel like it works well. I got this at Hobby Lobby, I believe, but I believe you can get it at Walmart as well. Then using this vintage trim that I picked up at the Goodwill bins, I'm just gonna go ahead and put some hot glue on the edges just so it doesn't unravel. And I'm just gonna create a Christmas tree. So I'm gonna start off by cutting my pieces here. I'm using the loops on the trim to measure out how long each one is gonna be, so it made it a little bit easy. I will lay them out and then I'm gonna start gluing them on the corners of the trim. And then I kind of use the top of the frame just to make sure I am centering it. Then just to give it a little sparkle and shine, I use these little beads that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to go ahead and glue them on everywhere the loop meets up in the center. Then I just want to add on a little bit more sparkle. I'm going to use these little crystal beads I picked up at Walmart. These were a bit more subtle than the ones I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Then as the top of the tree, or as would be what would be the star, I'm just going to use these 3 little beads that I had left over. I was going to use the star out of the IOD mold, but I prefer to use the little beads instead. I really do like how this came out. What do you guys think? Next up, I have these frames that I picked up at the Goodwill bins as well. I had my husband cut the backs for them. I'm just going to use the same velvet that I used on the previous project. I'm going to go ahead and cover my backings with that same material. So same as the previous one, I used this Easy Tack spray just to glue on my velvet, and then I just trimmed around to the shape of the wood. Then using these leftover ornaments I had from the little bag that came with the cherubs I used on a couple videos back, I had these leftovers, so I'm going to go ahead and paint them, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue them to my backings. So just to cover the little holes from the ornament, I'm just filling it in with some clay. So then just to brighten them up a bit, I'm going to use this Folk Art Gold paint, and I'm going to give them 2 coats. So before attaching my ornaments here, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue to the back of my frame here. Since these are going to be added to my booth, I'm going to go ahead and cover them with some brown paper just to make them look a little bit cleaner on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the back of the ornaments, focusing more on the higher points of my ornament here, just to make sure that it does adhere well to the back of my frame. And that is it for this one. I really love how this one came out. This one is probably my favorite out of the 3 DIYs. Last one for today, I have these wooden beads that I picked up at the Goodwill bins as well. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tassel off. Then just going in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, I'm going to go ahead and start stippling on the paint here. I'm not going for a very full coverage look. I want a very distressed look, very textured. Then once that dried, I'm going to go in with some Folk Art Gold, also in a stippling motion, and a little bit of dry brushing. So once that first coat dried, I did go over it again with the same gold. I wanted the gold to be a little bit more intense. So I'm going to go ahead and brush on another coat. Also in the same stippling motion because I do still want some of that white to come through. Then to replace the little tassel that was on these beads, I'm going to replace it with this vintage cherub that I also picked up at the Goodwill bins. Before I add my ornament, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue to the knot. And I'm going to stick it inside one of the beads just so it doesn't show. Then I'm going to string on some lace, and that is how I tie on my little cherub ornament. So that is it for today. I do hope that you guys like these simple thrift flips that I brought to you today. If you like what you see, please subscribe and follow for more. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.